G'day guys, it's Taz 101 Saga. It's unboxing time. I think this is probably the record for the biggest box that I've ever unboxed. In fact, it barely fits in the shop. Please excuse my mess. Spent many hours actually just clearing room to open this up. So anyway, enough yabber. Let's get cutting. So cameraman for today is my very good friend, former manager and business partner, Mr. Arthur. Say hello, Mr. Arthur.
Good afternoon, everyone.
There we go. He wanted to be present for this because he loves this stuff as much as I do. Right, what feels like years later, I think we're finally getting there. I never complain about good packaging though. So this is the small one of the two. These both came from Graham Curry. God bless you. Come over, my friend. Check that. I don't know if the lighting will show, but that's 1861 Tower, 1861. So it's a bit older than you, isn't it, Arthur?
Yeah, just another tear. That's beautiful.
This is the one who needs a little bit of love. But,
that's just beautiful.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of damage there. I was aware of all this. He's been very communicative. But you know what? For what this costs, mate. I mean, there's a sling loop there. Rammer's still in there. But damn, like it's not half bad really. Do you want to know what this actually was? It was like mid 300s, and it's an original as well, which is pretty rad, isn't it? I mean,
It's just amazing, man.
Yeah, he said it's got a sling loop missing there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the other one was supposed to go. It's an Enfield pattern, but obviously it's much smaller. I mean, look, if you put it on the floor, yeah, that one's absolutely massive. Yeah. I think this is actually smooth bore, because there doesn't seem to be a rear sight. Yeah, she's a little... I think that's by design though, actually. They did that and sort of offline like that. So, yeah, pretty sure she's all good. But, yeah, that's fine. Always return them with your little finger, because that way if something were to go kaboom, you don't blow your hand off. Okay, that's how they did it back in the day. But that's quite tight. So look, there's number one. Isn't she lovely? Look at that.
It's beautiful.
I mean, that lock,
it's beautiful.
you can see the... No, the light's probably not showing too well in there.
That's much better.
Yeah, but this needs a little bit of clean-up, I think.
Yeah, but you can actually see.
I'm sure she's... So there's the half cock.
Yeah.
There's the full cock.
The
not
full
going to
cock.
dry fire.
No,
you shouldn't. It's old.
You shouldn't.
The trigger's probably absolutely hard as balls on it. There you go. Yeah. Very strong triggers. I've not handled like anything like this in a very long time. But so to remove the lock plates on these, you basically got the two screws there, right?
Yeah.
And this comes out as one unit.
Yeah.
You know flintlocks. You obviously know what they are.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to the camera. Arthur does the cameras into these. So that's basically a percussion nipple.
Mm-hmm.
That there is a non-drill one. I think that's been replaced with just a dummy one or something.
Yeah,
but you can just unscrew those.
Yeah, and get the...
Yeah, so you put the actual percussion cap on, and then you cock it to full cock.
Yeah.
So there's all the powder goes into the barrel charge. Basically, there's no sort of pouring it in the pan like you did with it. So it's much quicker, more reliable ignition. This sort of came out. I think it was the 1820s, but it didn't catch on big till a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah, the springs feel pretty good in there. So it's a well-strong trigger though. Like, yeah, but I will look a little bit more of it after. But there you go. There's 1861 vintage. How long have I wanted one of these?
Months.
A long time, man.
Yeah.
You know, I always just bought something else because normally these I paid an extremely good price for this, as we discussed. But normally they cost a ton of money. There are some bits of it that have been replaced. Yeah, the original markings are still there and everything. That's good. That butt plate's definitely replaced. Right, let's have a look, shall we? Look at that beauty.
Whoa.
You come a bit closer if you want, mate.
Oh, whoa.
Look at that. Do a little muzzle to butt on that one, Art. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that, mate. What a beauty. I say that lock's definitely probably a replacement because it's dated 1853, which is the first year of production. Now on some of the replacements, that just because it's the pattern 1853 Enfield, if no one figured that yet, that's the date. So that might be a replacement, I reckon.
And that little thing there, which is
So that's what I was telling you about actually. So there's a bit of damage there.
Yeah.
But that's the crown. Underneath that would have said GR because it was Queen Victoria at the time.
Yeah.
So GR. It's Latin for Regina Queen, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a mark in here. It's quite faded, despite because I don't know if this stock was just cleaned up or restained, but it's got marks all over it, and it's definitely done.
You can see it was used.
It's definitely done things.
Yeah, it was used. Yeah. And here, that top one you can see is the original one.
That's it.
By the damage on the metal.
Let's take her out of here, shall we? Yeah, she's a wee bit heavier than that.
Whoa!
That's got some weight to it, that.
That's massive, man.
I thought I've got a Mose and the Gant, obviously. I thought that was long.
Yeah, but
I don't have a bayonet for this, but look at that. Let's put the butt on the floor, shall we? This is the British Army's first widely used rifle musket. So it's a percussion cap, not a flintlock, and it's probably my favourite rifle of that era. I always thought they were just wicked. So they're very well known for sort of being used, obviously, in the latter part of the Crimean War and the American Civil War. This was the most popular imported rifle. They had several run the blockades from Europe, so they had these from England. They have the Lorenz, I think it's pronounced, from Austria, which is a 54 caliber. This is a 5.77 caliber, but it shoots a Minet ball, which is actually a conical bullet. I don't know if I've ever showed those to you.
yeah.
So you got the round ball.
I know
Yeah.
which one.
You got the round ball from the smooth ball.
It's oval, almost oval.
Yeah, it's
ball,
actually like a bullet shape as opposed to just a spherical lead ball.
Yeah.
But it's got a hollow base. So when the charge goes off, it's got a bit like a mini skirt. It basically expands, and that's what grips the rifle in. But these are very slow twist rates because the velocities were quite low. But also the wounding characteristics are truly awful from mini balls. If anyone's ever seen the artist depictions, as they used to do sketches obviously, but combine that with the fact the surgery back then was very poor and they had no knowledge of infection, so you didn't have surgeons cleaning their instruments between. Obviously it's pure soft lead, so not only does it send bone fragments flying everywhere, it's a mess, but if someone came in with a torso shot, they just went, forget it.
Get him to the yard.
Basically, and that development was one of the reasons the American Civil War was so deadly, because they were still using line tactics, but now they had rifles that had several times the range of the muskets they'd been using for hundreds of years, and that were far more accurate, so the hit rates went up, and that's why you have, things
and the dead went up.
Yeah, you have things like Gettysburg, we had 50,000 people killed in 3 days, simply because you just, trench warfare came about actually because of these, more so than it came about with the First World War. The First World War didn't invent trenches, they had trenches in the Civil War.
Already, yeah.
A lot of NASA in anyway. Come a little closer, my friend. We seem to have foreign service markings there. I'm not sure if the light's bad from this angle, but that appears to be possibly Nepalese characters, do you reckon? Because obviously we had these in colonial service.
Yeah, it must be, yeah.
Yeah, you got the rear sight here. This is a flip up. Like that. Oh, so long, poking the pictures.
200 yards in.
200 yards, I think it's zeroed at.
Yeah.
And then you got this adjustment.
Yeah.
The tension's gone out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's a little part missing, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so you got a little sight there. It's very faint, but it says 5, 6 and 7, 800.
Yeah.
Back then it would have been yards, of course.
Yeah.
We've got JB here.
Alright.
Not sure what that is.
Probably the owner.
That looks a bit fresh, that.
Yeah.
I don't think you got it on the camera. Yeah, that looks a bit fresh, that.
Probably the owner of the
I'm not sure if that's...
gun. I don't know. Could be. Or just someone messing around with the wood.
Oh, she's just very tight. There we go. Yeah, it comes to the top. I ain't done this in a while, so my musket skills are a little bit... Right. Oh yeah, that's a long rush. She's stopping right at the threads, which means...
That's the size.
She's
yeah.
good, yeah.
Very satisfactory to look at it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh mate, I've waited so long to get her.
It's a
Proper
beautiful piece of work.
So let's
It is.
stick her up there on this now. Oh, I didn't actually track the... Yeah, so there's half cock, full cock. Oh, that one's got a much cleaner trigger actually. Yeah, I think it's probably had springs replaced and it's been cleaned up.
Yeah.
It's a lot smoother than that one.
I think that one is the original.
Yeah, that's definitely
Inside,
the original lot.
yeah.
I think that plate's been replaced.
Yeah.
I'll say, because it's got all the original markings and stuff, but he did say to me it's had some stuff, like, because if you see the butt, I'll move out the way, that's clearly a replacement. That's the most obvious bit, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you can actually see.
Because that's barely got a mark on it.
Exactly.
I think it's still fairly aged, but it's not been through service, has it? There's no
Compared to the old
markings.
one, on.
There's no markings on the top either.
Yeah.
You can still find these fairly easily.
Yeah. Compared to this one, that you can see is damage all over it.
Yeah. You've seen these before, though, haven't you? In the old country.
I did. Yeah. Portugal. One of my friends in Portugal has got a massive collection of muskets.
Arthur does airsoft with me, people. By the way.
Those on the... We airsoft fans.
He's into all the historical stuff.
Yeah.
I like everything from this to modern ARs. I'm just an all round. I just like the guns, man.
We just like tools.
We do. They're all, especially bits of history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed, mate. I'm really happy.
I'm just imagining how many people grab those two guns and use them.
Oh, it's crazy, yeah.
And actually, where those guns went and went through it, actually went through it to the history of it. I think it's quite interesting.
Obviously, you know, weapons are tools, right? And obviously now it's antique, so to speak, but it's like everyone makes fun of muskets. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it takes 5 minutes to reload. It doesn't really.
It doesn't.
That's rubbish. The standard back in the day was 3 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
For both the British and the Union Army around the mid 1800s. So some guys could do more than that. Everyone makes fun of them, but
it's a technique to it as well.
Yeah, but
definitely.
in hindsight, it seems funny, but you look at what we're using now. Like you can just drop a magazine, hit a bolt catch, but you just take all that for granted.
Yeah.
But you know, people going up against these and using these were just killed in droves.
Yeah.
For a long, long time. You know, this was the AK-47 of the day.
Yeah.
Everybody had it or some version of it.
And today you use drones.
Well, technology moves on. That's
exactly.
It, it's, they're not a joke. They only seem like a joke with modern hindsight.
Yeah, but there was real tough.
I say they are very powerful weapons.
Yeah.
They're not a joke to be hit by.
Not everyone could shot them as well.
Yeah, but they're just amazing pieces of history, and I've always had a thing for black powder guns. I've just loved them. I'll say this is my second and third black powder, but they're my first muzzle loaders, so that's good. My other one's a breech loader, but there'll be more to come. There will be more to come. So I think we'll probably just natter about them all day if we didn't stop the video. But thanks for watching. If you're watching from YouTube, then there'll be some material on these soon. Thanks for being here, Arthur. Thanks for being. I wasn't too worried about doing this one all formal.
And don't forget to click the heart and subscribe.
Shut up. Those that are watching elsewhere. And thank you, Graham. You're very generous. What can I say? Wonderful prices for these two. Yeah, I'm really happy, mate. Thank you so much. And we'll see you all soon.